Hello everyone, I'm the okayest bassist, and this is a bit of a different video. What I've decided to do is kind of give some insight into order of a custom bass, not just a custom design, but a complete new design, based on my experience with Lignum art for my custom Lignum that I had the unboxing of and will soon review. My general timelines were pretty well in line. I expected between design time, actual build time, shipping, all that it would take somewhere in the 4 to 6 month range. It did take about 6 months. So I was on the ball, but where I thought the time would be was quite different. I also didn't realize how in-depth things are. My expectation was, hey, I want to build a bass. I want something shaped like this. I want it done with these specs, like scale lengths and things like that. And then that was kind of it. And then they just sent back, okay, here's what we've made. But at least with Gustav, with Lignum art, it was very different. And I really appreciated that. So without further ado, we're going to get to it. This is basically just a video of me reading the text conversation via email or WhatsApp. So if you don't like videos that are just a whole bunch of somebody reading the words that are on a screen, probably don't want to watch this video. If you are interested in that process, then I guess feel free to stand around and sit around or lay around, whatever you're doing to watch. But stick around and you can watch that process. We're going to go to it right now. Okay, so you should be able to see a screen recording of my phone with the conversation, as it were. I took all of these from the email and then cleaned them up to make it easier to understand what's going on. You'll see that it started with my contacting them through their website on July 23rd, 2024 at 10:45 a.m. This was through the Lignum art website. The black text is what comes from me. The red text is what comes from Gustav. So it starts with the web submitted question: would you be able to construct a single cut headless multi-scale bass similar to an Achilles bass by Overload Guitars? They respond, I'm not going to read the dates all the way for everything, but it was basically a day between each message. Hey Travis, thank you for reaching out to us. I think it would, but I don't really like to make copies or replicas of other manufacturers. Is it okay to be inspired by someone's work, but to a certain extent? If you are willing to work with me on a new model, I'm all aboard. I have a few headless / single cut models of my own, and I would love it if you would give them a look. Who knows, maybe you'll like one of them. If you are still interested, let me know. I'm sure we can make something interesting. Absolutely. I didn't mean to make a replica, just something similar. Is there a picture repository where I can see existing models? Do you have a general price range so I know what I could afford? Hey Travis, I'm not sure if you meant to attach some kind of picture with the shape of the instrument. I can't see anything attached. Anyway, there are a lot of options, and I would need to see what I can find locally. If there's a pre-made Trinity knot, Italy, we could use that, or you could send some reference photos to see if I can come up with something. Besides that, I could use some interesting woods and paint it transparent white, use white burst, or something similar. Also, we could go with some kind of metallic gray to match the theme. What kind of pickups and electronics are you looking for? I recommend Delano since they are my favorite pickup manufacturers. They have all kinds of shapes and sizes. Also, I use Riviera hardware when going with the headless version. When I get a bit clearer idea of the instrument we are aiming for, I could give you a price and time needed to produce the instrument. And if that will all sound good to you, we could start sketching something up. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sorry, I thought I attached a picture. There's the picture. Just checking in if the attachments came through and if there was anything else you needed as of now. Hey Travis, sorry for the late reply. I'm currently starting 5 new instruments and they are all already existing models. Yours would be the only one that needs some extra work. So it takes me a bit more time to think about it, research it, and come up with solutions. I will do my best to start replying on a regular basis so that we can start everything out as soon as possible. There are only a few details we need to discuss before I can give you a price estimate, and before we can get to work. First thing is the headless system. I usually use Riviera hardware, and it's a system that doesn't require a body cutout. So I was wondering, do you want the cutout because you like it visually? If that's the case, we should go with ABM headless bridges instead. I'm a fan of symmetry wherever it's possible. You have sketched out contours only on the upper side. Is that a must, or can I mirror it to the lower side of the base? When it comes to the pickups, Delano X tenders are huge, so we wouldn't be able to fit 3 of them. I will need to go with just 1 or 2. That I leave to you. And when it comes to wiring, volume, tone sounds good to me. We can add a mini switch or push-pull so that you can swap series, single coil, or parallel. Up to you. Let me know what you think. I understand. I appreciate your time. I do like the bottom cutaway aesthetically. However, the tuning machines that hang out the back, I would prefer to fall within the lower horns of the body, if that makes sense. What I mean is, if the instrument were to be set down, I would prefer the tuning machines not be what touches the floor, but instead the 2 closest pieces of the body. To that effect, I have no particular preference as to which system would be used for the headless aspect. The contour would be put on top and bottom. I think that would be aesthetically pleasing. Also, if you're familiar with their design, Ibanez makes their EHB series, and it has some thinner portion to the body to reduce weight further. I have one, and I appreciate it as far as the ergonomics of the instrument go. However, it's definitely not a requirement. I just prefer my instruments to be as lightweight as feasible. If it would be possible, or more, if they make one, I would be fine with a single pickup mounted in the center of the body at approximately the same location as a P pickup would be found, especially if that pickup is round or preferably circular shaped. As for electronics and wiring, if there could be a volume knob and a tone knob, that is all I would need for a single pickup. If that pickup has the ability to change phasing, I would prefer that be done through a rotary switch that looks like a knob, but it is not necessary. If it helps you make a design on the pickup selection, phasing, or controls, all I can say is that my ultimate bass tone for which I would aim is the bass solo near the end of Fleetwood Mac's The Chain. Thank you so much for your time and effort. Hopefully we can agree on terms and get the project going. Hey Travis, I understand what you want when it comes to the design. I'm slowly starting to get an idea of how I think the instrument should look. I will incorporate all of the details you've asked for, and I think it will look great. You also mentioned weight of the instrument, and I would like to say that you shouldn't worry about that. All of my instruments are around 3.4 kilos. And since your bass will be headless, even if we use heavier species of wood, it will still be very light. My instruments are about 39 millimeters thick, and I try to keep them as elegant as possible. When it comes to the chain sound of the instrument, I did a quick research, and it seems we should focus on bridge pickup for that punch. Even if we place it in the middle, it should be a bridge model. And I feel like you will still have a great amount of versatility with series single parallel switch. So, since you want oval pickup, the passive wiring, I would suggest the Extender 4HE. It is humbucking in all modes and truly a wonderful pickup. With that being said, controls would be volume, tone, and rotary switch with 3 positions. I think we are on good track. Please give me until the end of the week to put everything on paper. I still need to make a list of all the parts, wood, and finish design. By then, I will have the price for you. At that point, if everything will sound good to you, we can get to sketching the model, and we can get to work. Once we will have something sketched in my 3D modeling program, we can go back and forth with working on all of the details. Looking forward to hearing from you. At this point, most of the design stuff's been discussed, and we are now at August 7th, 2024. So I'm responding, that sounds great. I look forward to hearing back from you. So this is when the major hashing back and forth would have ended. And now we're to the fine details. I do want to note that there were a few emails I left out that were basically just hey, what about this? Hey, what color? Things like that. At this point, I had asked Gustav what price range we were looking at least 3 times. And each time he said, don't worry about price. We'll talk about that once we get the design finished. So throughout this entire time, he does not give a price. He's more worried about making sure he has a proper design, and that's something I really appreciate. Was not that he was getting a price range and then designing to that. He was designing the best instrument that he could so that whatever he provided would be excellent. And then, as you'll see here later, he's willing to work on the price to make a good instrument valuable and affordable, as opposed to making something that's valuable and affordable a decent instrument. So we move on to the next phase of the design. August 13th, 2024, 5:20 p.m. Hey Travis, sorry for the extra few days, but I finally have a price for you. I've put all the parts on paper and I've come up with the price. Let me assume you're from the USA, so the shipping would be €220. And for the 5-string bass guitar, the price would be €1,800. But since this would be a new model and there is a lot of work with sketching and making programs for the CNC, it would be an extra €200 for that part. Also, I ship my instruments in polyfoam base case, so it's also included in the price. In total, this would make the guitar cost €2,000 plus $220 for shipping. If that sounds good to you, we can get to work in a few days. In case I haven't mentioned this, usually it takes us 10 weeks to produce the instrument, but a few of my suppliers have summer break at some point, and there will be a few days off. So let's say that it would take me 3 months to have the instrument ready for shipping. There are still some details I need to think about, and some details we need to discuss, like custom inlays. I need to research if abalone can be cut with a laser, or do I need to CNC or mill it. When it comes to parts, I didn't find any satin headless systems, so for now, we need to go with chrome. White bleached finish is easily to achieve, so I would say that it's sorted, but we haven't decided on the wood combination. The parts would be head pieces, 5, however you pronounce that, Egaligor base single head piece for headless bridges, 5 ABM 3901C chrome strap locks, Shaler S-locks, fret wire, Just Car fret wire, 2.54 by 1.30 millimeter stainless steel FW51100-S, pickup, bridge, the X-Tender 5HE, wiring, passive, volume, tone, 3-way rotary. Let me know how all of this sounds to you. Looking forward to hearing from you. I understand. I'm asking quite a lot. $220 shipping is fine and fair. $2,000 for a custom design base is very fair. However, I do have a couple questions. Namely, and I mean absolutely no offense, is there any way to trim any of that lower? If not, I understand. But if we were to use less expensive woods, as they will be mostly covered, I would be fine with that. If the electronics could make it less, I would be okay with that, etc. Turnaround time is completely understandable. If we go with shiny metal, would gold colored be alright rather than chrome? If it is easier or cheaper to supply a resin inlay, then that would be fine. If wood doesn't affect the price, the red wood you use on your Base for Ainz video, side note, heavily recommend that, it's a cool video, would be a cool wood, and it would be similar to like a bone's marrow. I look forward to your answers, along with the final price. Please let me know how to proceed with deposits, payments, and or financings. Hey Travis, I can do a few things to slightly lower the price, so let me get to it. And then you can decide if that makes a difference. I can send the instrument in a styrofoam and cardboard package so that will lower the price slightly. There's a company called Geiger. It makes Korean parts, and they are actually pretty high quality. They have headless tuning systems. The only thing is that their headless systems come only in black color. I could also use cheaper strap locks. To be honest, Shaler locks are just overpriced. I always tend to go with the most popular hardware brands like Goto, Shaler, Hipshot, ABM. But my honest opinion is that there are great alternatives like Geiger or Goldo that are just as good, but less known and cheaper. All of those hardware changes could knock off €250. Wood doesn't really make too much of a difference, so I would stick to high-quality wood. And Delano is a fairly priced, high-end manufacturer, and passive wiring is the cheapest option. Let's say I cut my 3D modeling in half, so it's an extra €100 instead. Side note, this is him saying that all of the work he's putting in to drafting, sketching, this discussing with me, and finally creating the model in the 3D program he uses for his CNC. Instead of $200, he's taking 100 of those off just to make it more affordable for the customer. That's super cool, because that would be the same thing as if you hired somebody to do a job like cleaning your house, and then you're like, hey, when you come next week, is there a way that I could get it a little cheaper? And they go, oh yeah, I charge $200 to come in and clean all this stuff and get into the fine details, but how about if I charge you half? That's pretty awesome. Those changes added together would give the price of €1,650, and let's round the shipping to €200. So in total, it would be €1,850. I completely understand that you might have a budget you are willing to spend on this instrument, and I am more than happy to discuss it, and if possible, find some wiggle room. But I just don't want to lower the quality of the build. So even now, I want to provide the best possible construction and hardware. And last thing I wanted to mention is, in case you will probably have about 10% import fees to the U.S. Customs. I don't really know the rates for countries outside of Europe, so you would check that out. Let me know if that sounds good to you. In order, I can send the instrument in a styrofoam cardboard package so that it will lower the prices slightly. Completely fine. There's a company called Geiger. It's made in Korea in parts, and they are actually pretty high quality. My response to that section was, I'd prefer all hardware to be dull silver or gold if possible, but using Geiger would be fine. Usually use cheaper straps. They're overpriced. I prefer regular strap buttons, as I use a Diodario locking strap anyway. All of those hardware changes knock off €250. Fantastic. The wood doesn't really make a difference. Great. I would love a pretty grain to show through towards the center if possible, like a tree made of bone. Delano's fairly priced. Cool. I love that round shape and the built-in thumb rest. Let's say I cut my rendering to half. That's so nice of you. I really appreciate it. Those changes total the base to $1,650 plus $200. Amazing. That helps so much. I completely understand you might have a budget. I completely understand your dedication to your craftsmanship, and I agree wholeheartedly. Again, I appreciate that he is more worried about making sure the product is good so his name isn't on something that's crap, as opposed to making a sale and making some money and putting out an inferior product. That's so cool. I understand. I didn't know about that. I'll deal with that when it comes up. This is talking about the import fees. Let me know how that sounds to you. I very sincerely appreciate everything. I would like to proceed with the order. Please let me know how payments are arranged, as in if they are all paid up front, if there is a deposit now and a remainder is paid later, if there's any financing options, etc. One more slightly on-topic question. Is it possible for this build to be made into a video as well? My family and I love watching and rewatching your builds on YouTube. Again, check out Lignum Art's website. Such satisfying videos. If you just want to sit and relax and watch something calming. I don't take naps in the middle of the day, but there have been times that it's been pretty close that I could just go to sleep because their videos are so relaxing. Now we've agreed on the build, we're again hashing out finer details. So on August 17th, 2024, 4:10 a.m., yes, I was up. Sorry to double message you, but I saw these on Reverb, and I didn't know what the price was shipping compared to the Geiger. I know these are an awesome bridge, so I sent this, which is an EHB set of tuners. Again, if the price would have been high for international shipping, maybe. I don't know what the Geikers run, but EHB headless tuners are some of the best tuners I've ever used, so I wanted him to have that knowledge. Hey Travis, this is a great find from Reverb, but unfortunately I can't buy parts from Reverb for my business if they are listed by a private person. I would like to stick to Geiger if you are fine with that. I have been using Geiger single bass bridges for more than half of my sub-octave basses. These are a special bass designed for and sold originally to Nate Navarro. They're orderable. So if you want something even lower range than a normal bass, you can go look at that too. Let's see. And I can't tell the difference in quality compared to ABM, Goldo, or Hipshot. So I am sure their headless system will also be spot on. When it comes to the wood combination, my idea is that we use Padauk neck combined with an ash body. and I would fill the pores with light gray against white. I have attached a photo of something similar I was working on, but I will go for a bit more natural look, so that a bit of the natural color of the ash goes through. And if you like, we can go with the white burst or without it. What do you think about the Paduk fretboard, or do you have something else in mind? When it comes to the payment, we usually ask for 50% before I get started and 50% before shipping. For all my customers from the US, I can make payment links through Revolt, and you can pay with credit card. So let's get those last few details sorted out and we can get to work. Once we decided on all of the hardware, wood, and finish, we will send you an official offer and the link. Let me know what you think. Geiger will be completely fine. I trust your judgment. The one you have pictured looks good, but I prefer lighter, close to white, again to look like bleached bone. As for the neck fretboard, again, I do like it as close to white as possible, but if white isn't possible, the bright red could be cool. 50-50 is fine, just let me know. Enjoy your time off. As far as the coloration, if we are unable to do something close to white for the fretboard, then could we consider using another color scheme altogether? The red and white coloration with the black hardware doesn't appeal to me as much. Maybe reverse the idea and do the body with red wood, center with fading to black, then black neck and red fretboard. That would look nice with black hardware. If we go dark, I would love to see it go from the red wood maybe to purple heart and then a dark wood for the neck. Heck, maybe I'll blow the budget and ask for both. The YouTube video is amazing. We love to watch them over and over. My 3-year-old wants one of the base for Ainz, but I told him it's too much money and he said okay. I also thought about the packaging and would like to pay the little extra for the case since I'll want a good case to carry around the base. Just wait until you're back from vacation and then we'll think about it then. And let me know what you think at that time. Have a wonderful day. Me again. Also, I don't know if these are needed yet, but here's what I was thinking for the technical specs. If we go with the black and red option, I listed those under the others. Sorry for being complicated, demanding. Then tech specs, 5-string, right-handed orientation, the custom shape, body material heat set ash. If we do the black with red, Wingate or ash, matte or satin finish. If it's color, it's white like bone. Black and red would be black and red. Material would be Paduk, maybe holly. Holly has a super white wood if you don't know that. Black and red would be Paduk and Wenge. Multi-scale, radius 20 or 16 inch. Fretboard material, either holly or a very light maple. If it's white, black and red would be Wenge or ebony. Fingerboard, Trinity knot abalone. Jumbo stainless steel frets, 30 to 32 scale length. Multi-scale, nut width of 1.8 inch. Tusk or bone with a 0 fret. Bridge and tailpiece by Geiger. Tuners by Geiger. Neck pickup not applicable. Pickup otherwise Delano extender 5HE white in the P position. Controls 1 volume 1 tone 1 3-phase rotary switch. Strings Diodario ETB 92-5. String spacing 18mm. Hey Travis, I will go over the list before the end of the week and before I go on vacation. That way we'll have it sorted out most of the details, and once I get back in 10 days, we can go to work. Talk to you soon. Sounds good. If you figure out which color scheme you think would work best, let me know. Also, if you don't mind, when you make the CNC model, could you export it as an STL or OBJ file, and I could try to 3D print my boy a miniature of the base. Hey Travis, I came back home a few days ago, but ended up using a few more days to do some work around the house. Yesterday I started working again, and now I'm ready for new projects. And with that being said, let's continue where we left off. I feel like we are getting very close. I went over your list, and it is very well put together. We just need to discuss a few more details like finish and details. Go with it, hardware, color, inlays, fretboard. I am starting to lean back to the bone-like finish and really think it would look good. We need to think of a way to implement those details I mentioned. When we sort that out, I can send you a final offer with everything listed. And if all of it will look good, I can send you a payment link for the first half and we can get to work. When it comes to the 3D model, I can send it to you, but it will not be 3D printable as it is. For 3-axis CNC, I don't need the same details of a model as you would need 3D printing. For example, I don't need any surfaces on the sides because there is never an end mill milling on other surfaces. When we get to that point, I will see what I can do. and at least send you some 2D sketches for you to play with, or those 3D models so that you can work with them and make it suitable for 3D printing. Let me know how all of that sounds. We just need to discuss a few more details like finish and details. I like the bone white best. Have you looked into holly as a fretboard wood? It's very bright and shouldn't need any color treatment. As long as all the hardware matches, I'm fine with it. As far as the inlay, I'd say abalone is good, but I believe a simple metallic white resin inlay would be cheaper and easier. I also forgot to say it before, but if it can be done, I'd like to put the output jack on the front of the base, like where the fourth knob would be if there was one. Hey Travis, I managed to find WSC Partsland single string bridges in chrome. What do you say? Want to go with that? I have used Partsland before, and they are the same price and build range as Geiger. But now I find them better looking than the Geiger. Here's a link. I'm still thinking about how the finish would be applied. I have used Partsland before, and they are at the same price and build range as Geiger. But now that I've found them, I find them better looking than Geiger. Here's a link. I'm still thinking about how the finish will be applied. I can find a solution for the inlays. If abalone and mother of pearl can't be cut with a laser, my CNC is just not precise enough to cut it precisely enough so that it would look good. How does it sound going with another wood species for inlays, like black ebony or red padauk? Maybe this red detail would look good. Let me know what you think. Another option is simply making the inlays with white or glitter epoxy. That is my go-to solution for most of the inlays, and it works just fine. I have attached one lion inlay and made glitter epoxy. It might be the closest thing to abalone. I have to look at holly wood, but I can't find it locally. I can offer you two other options. One is Croatian European maple. Wood is what I usually use, and it's a really nice pale, much paler than American or Canadian maple. And another good solution is hornbeam. It might work even better. Those two are similar in lightness, but hornbeam has a little more gray-green tone to it instead of maple's yellow-orange tint. I have attached a few photos of the instrument with hornbeam body and the fretboard, so let me know what you think. One more thing. Today, when I was writing an official offer, I realized that I am missing your address. I might have asked you already, but I can't find it in emails, so please, if you would provide your address and your phone so that I can add it to the information on the offer and future invoicings and, of course, shipping. Let's get those few details sorted out and get to work. For the tuning bridges pieces, those or Geiger seem fine unless there is some way you can get them the same tuning bridge pieces like an Ibanez EHB that I have used multiple times and thoroughly enjoy their mechanism. How's my plan to put black tape wound strings? I'm fine with the hardware being black after all. What are your thoughts? I thought I had already said that I was fine with epoxy or resin inlay, and I think it would look fine without adding too much contrast. However, if you think you can do it with the red wood, I think that would be very sharp. As to the fretboard wood, I think the hornbeam looks nice. As close to white as you can source, that would be amazing. If you can't source anything super close to white, then maybe we could look at doing a darker instrument, although I'd prefer the lighter aesthetic. You hadn't asked my address yet. You presumed I'm from the USA, which is correct. I attached my address, which I've now redacted. Will the final quote you send me include the full breakdown of the instrument, or does that come separately? Hey, Travis. Okay, let's go with black hardware then. You're right. It will look really good with black strings. I think that the inlays are all set then. I'm sure I will manage to make wood and red inlay, so let's go with that. It will add a lot to the build. I would also like to stick to the white aesthetic, so let's go with hornbeam. And now that I gave it some thought, and now that we decided about the inlays, I think we could even color the front of the fretboard and make it match the rest of the instrument, like was your original plan. I did a bit more searching for those Ibanez bridges, but I didn't find them anywhere, so if it's fine with you, let's go with the WSC headless individual. I am sure you will be happy with those as much as I am with them. Yes, the final quote will include the list of all parts and measurements included so that you have all the information in one piece. If that's everything, you can expect an offer tomorrow. That sounds wonderful. I very much appreciate it. With the inlays, I leave that to your discretion, whether you think adding the red on the fretboard for the inlays would look better than using black. That would keep more of a monochrome theme. I think the red would look pretty cool, especially if it was a darker red. Please make sure to include the case that you had mentioned, as well as I think I had already said I wanted to go ahead and have something good for it to travel. And since this will be the instrument I take to church whenever I play there, I want to make sure that it has the lowest chance of damage possible. I was in contact with Ivan as a sales dealer support, and I sent him an item number. He was able to find it on sale for a few websites. If you don't mind looking at these to see what would be the least expensive to get them to you and compare the price differences between it or other tuners you were thinking, then let me know the price difference and I would greatly appreciate it. Part number, blah, 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 bridge night MR5HS. Hey Travis, I gave it a quick Google and I couldn't find any dealer from the EU that has these bridges. Actually, I did find one, but they only had 3 in stock. Here's another option. If you want, we can go with ABM bridges. ABM is one of the highest value hardware manufacturers, but once again, in the end, all of those parts are more or less the same. So double the price is not worth it in my opinion. Here's a link. If your dealer found those Ibanez bridges somewhere, let me know and I will see if I can get them. I just wanted to say once again that you will not be going wrong with WSC bridges. They are wonderful products, easy to use, and good looking. I use them for sub bases, version based with headstock, and never had a problem with them. I will send your instrument in this kind of hard case, a link to a Thomann case. It will not increase the price for a lot, but it will give it a great protection in a hard case. The price is €50. Let me know what you think. Yes, upon searching myself, I only found people selling it and noticed that the payment type was in euros. That's why I had sent it to you, hoping maybe you would be able to find them. But if you're unable to find the Ibanez kind, I just prefer that since it's what I'm used to using, then go with whichever you would recommend and that will be fine. As far as the case, throw in the case, it's fine. I just want to make sure it has good protection while carrying it. I don't care if it's with a soft case or a hard case as long as it's protected. I know sometimes there are soft cases that can actually be more protective than hard ones. With those in mind, please let me know what you're thinking, final price, so we can go ahead and get the design portion figured out and the order started. So this is when basically everything was decided, and we're now all the way up to September 23rd, 2024. Travis, now I really feel like we got everything sorted out, so tomorrow I will send you the offer and get to work. Since we're now getting close to working on the design itself, here's my phone number so that we can chat a bit quicker. If you use WhatsApp, I would like to send you photos of my modeling progress there so that you can let me know if I'm going in the right direction. And of course, once we start working on the instrument itself, I can update you there. He attached his phone number. It's been redacted. September 23rd again. Awesome. I'll download WhatsApp now. My only final question is that the case, I'm sure it is a yes, but is it it's worth asking. Do you recommend the Thomann case you sent as much as the one that you guys make that is molded to fit the instrument? As long as you recommend it, I'm fine with it. He sends, hey Travis, you can find an offer attached, and here is the payment link for the full payment, and there was that. Next we move over to the messages through WhatsApp. So again on September 23rd. Hello, this is Travis Williams. Hey Travis, great to hear from you. I feel the same way, sir. I sent this in the email, but I guess I can just send it here. Do you recommend the Thomann case? Blah, blah, blah. I have full confidence in the Thomann case. Wonderful. I look forward to this very much. There are a lot of flaws with our cases. We are just not upholsterists. So there are a lot of problems that we ran into while making the cases. So whenever there is a suitable case, I like to simply order it. But that is not an option with something like sub bases because they are too big. But in this case, your base will fit perfectly into standard cases, so my suggestion is to go with something like that. I understand. Thank you for clarifying. Anytime. Will you be putting the Diodario ETB 92-5 tape wound strings on, or will you have to use regular strings and then I'll swap them? Also, so I don't message at an inopportune time, what time zone are you? I'm CET. You don't have to worry about that. If it's too late, I will simply answer when I wake up. I was planning on stringing the instrument with regular strings, but I usually use cheaper strings since I know customers will change them very soon anyway. But if you want, I can use those black strings, but they are €70 more expensive than what I usually use. That's crazy. They're only $60 to $65 here. You can use whatever. I only use tape wounds or flat wounds, and almost exclusively Diodario. Yeah, they're €80 to €100 over here. There are a few more models of black strings that are cheaper, but not by much. Wild. I would ask you to string flats, but their tension is way higher than tapes, so I would have to go with rounds, and then I'll just swap them when I get it. What city are you located? I will see if I could get a set and ship them cheaper. Near the capital of Croatia, Zagreb? You can't. And then the city there is the one from their website. Is that the right one? Yes. But I would need to pay customs fees, and that'd be around 30% extra, so it would come out to the same. Wow, you're right. That's crazy. It's $133 for an envelope for me to ship them to you. Yeah, prices are crazy. Well, go with whatever strings you'd like then, LOL. I'll just swap them when I get it. Sounds like a plan. Once you get payment out of the way, or were you still expecting 3 months production? I always say 3 months just in case there's some delays, since some parts need to be pre-ordered like the Delano pickups. But more realistic time would be 2 months. Cool, so hopefully by Christmas. Sounds about right. When you send the invoice, can I pay everything up front? Yes, you can pay once or 250%. Tomorrow I'll write the offer invoice and send it to you, and you can do the payment for the full amount. Sounds delightful. Hey Travis, here's the offer. Please go blah blah blah. I gave it some thought today, and I wanted to propose that if everything looks okay, we should make the model first, and then you can actually make the payment. I was thinking about working on it this weekend, and it should take more than a few days. Okay, that sounds good. That way, you'll be sure everything is to your liking before you make the payment. Everything sounds great. Thumbs up. First question regarding the design, is the headstock that we make fine for you? This one. Yes, I really like the symmetry. Great, making a good headstock is quite hard, so this is a good start. If there is no head, the stub needs to be good looking, lol. True, I guess we are on our way. As soon as I will have some sketches, I will let you know so we can discuss and tweak it, so let's talk tomorrow or Sunday and see where we're at. Sounds wonderful. It's midnight here, so good night. Rest well. Started working on the contour around the edges. Nice. What do you think about this half cut out instead of a complete cutout? Sure, that shouldn't change much, but we will still need to find a good cutout curve. This is too much in my opinion. Maybe with a slight angle? Maybe out here with the angle? This is with the original contour. Doesn't look bad. Looks cool. What is that mark? Oh, I see. I wouldn't recommend that. It will poke you in the leg. What if we try to copy the design from the top just out of the bezeling? Deleted bottom curve on first. I mean like a violin on both sides, but making the points with the bezeling not as outlined. I don't think that would work. That part is pretty narrow, and I wouldn't be able to sand it nicely. Okay, the violin shape is really cool. Can you think of a way to add a few more spikes, like any way to add that as a motif? I don't know. If not, it's okay. It still looks really nice. It really does. That would be the same shape, but with bottom cutout. Could the bezeling work here too, or is that not advisable? That would be great. I don't know if it would work well with the design. This is an image of the original design that I had sent based on one of his models. I had noticed it before, thinking it would improve higher fret access. If not, I understand. Let me try. It is possible to also put the bottom cutout down further a bit more. Looks better slimmer in my opinion. Really, I like the top better. Okay. Would the bottom horn need to be changed to allow for resting on the leg? I don't think so. Cool. Could we make that shape section a little more pointy shaped? I can't get it to look right. That's fine. Probably shouldn't mess with perfection anyway. I moved the neck so that the 24th fret is exactly on the beginning of the lower horn. I am done for today, so let me know if you think of anything else that we can do tomorrow. I think the neck was fine where it was, otherwise it'll lengthen the total instrument, right? Also, could the pickup be more in the middle of the bridge and neck? That way I rest my thumb where I prefer to play closer to the neck. Okay, I will change it. Neck being further out shouldn't be a problem, since a 30 to 32 is still shorter than a 34 that I usually make, but I can move it back if you want. Wonderful, thank you so much. I just want a good compact multi-scale, and I'd prefer where it was unless you'd recommend otherwise. I'm very excited. I don't mind moving it back. How does this look? Looks great. Okay, I will have 3D model by the end of the week, and we can get to work. And even sooner, I can start preparing the wood. Great. That base in the new video looks beautiful. Oh yeah, I forgot to watch it. My brother is the owner of the YouTube channel, and I was doing something else when he told me he posted it. I'm glad you liked it. Gotcha. That black and purple with added red is almost how I was thinking of doing mine if we couldn't do the white. Looking almost as forward to the video of mine as I am for the actual base. I'm also looking forward to work on this project. It will be so much fun. I have quite a few folks excited to see it when it gets here. They are hopeful to play it, but I might not share. Hey Travis, I guess that we can get to work. I was planning to order all of the parts over the weekend so that we are sure everything will arrive on time. So I would like to send you the payment link. You mentioned at one point full payment, so I just wanted to check if you wanted 50 or 100% link. It doesn't make any difference to me, whatever works best to you. 100% would be best for me. Okay, I will send it to your email, and I will attach the offer once again so that you have everything all in one place. Wonderful. It's done. Payment went through, thank you. So I know you still have to order parts. Do you still have to order the wood as well, or is that something you guys already had stockpiled? I have wood in stock. Cool. Usually I buy for a few instruments so that it sits for a few months, but maple and ash is something I always have. Nice. If it was something exotic, I would maybe have to buy it. Gotcha. What type of file is the 3D model you use? If it's CAD, I can use it in my wife's printer. I model in Rhino, and I can export in any format you want, but when I send you, it will not be suitable for printing. I don't draw surfaces that I don't need for CNC programs. Gotcha. I can still send it in a few days if you want to try it out. Sure. I don't know much about 3D printers, so it may be easier to sort out than I imagine. I don't really know much either. That'll be my wife who has to figure that out. Were you able to figure out a time frame of the parts needing ordered? Everything will be here in around 10 days besides the pickups. I placed the order and now we wait. Usually it takes them around 1 month, maybe a bit longer. Well, at least it's one of the last things you should need. Has the gluing or cutting started? I haven't glued anything yet, but I did cut everything. Woohoo! If not, it's fine, but do you have any pictures of the wood, or does that not really matter since it needs to be treated for color? I will send you some photos when I glue it. Fantastic. Before facing the surfaces, it's just dirty and looks like nothing. Sorry to bother you. Is there any progress or pictures for me to fawn over? I am out for today, but I can send a few tomorrow. Awesome, thank you. It is still in a state of few boards, but in a few days, I will have a little more exciting photos. Like I said, it still doesn't look like much. I will probably glue it tomorrow. Ash, this ash has pretty good graining. It will look great on the contours around the body. Nice, thank you. No problem. Any amazing updates? And today, the first piece of the order arrived. Nice. I will leave the block for another 10 days before CNC milling. If I start it too soon after gluing, after some time, the holes for the pickups and bridge become too tight. Moisture in the glue needs around 2 weeks to completely evaporate. So any day now it will start milling? Hey, yeah, I have the instrument milled by the end of the week. Today I planed the block, so it's ready for the CNC. I have to make all the program for the CNC, and after that we are ready. Yay! I'm so excited as this keeps going. I lost my mother 3 weeks ago, and as silly as it sounds, this has been one of the happy points keeping me looking forward. Hey, Travis, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. I'm glad that I can help at least a little bit. As we speak, I'm finishing the model so that I can finally make those CNC programs. Once the model is done, it takes me about half an hour to generate all of the programs, but it takes a bit longer to draw everything up. It's been fun seeing the changes and how it moves through the process. The right one for the 12th fret, left one for the rest. Maybe a bit thinner circles on the right one, or maybe just the simple one in all positions. The same in all, or I like the middle one for the 12th if possible. The one with the circles, it is a bit big, unfortunately. Then I'd say simple the whole way, but I'm fine either way. Were you able to format that CNC file to an OBJ or an STL or a CAD file for me to try to 3D print? I did finish the model, but like I said, it's not perfect for printing. There are a lot of surfaces missing. I can send it anyway so you can see if it's worth anything to you. That's amazing, even though it doesn't look deeper on the right side. Sure, please send it. I did shave it just a bit, but it's still wider. It looked too asymmetrical both on the front and the back. Plus, my camera makes it look a bit thinner than it actually is. My brother said that it's a masterpiece. It looks fantastic. I'm very excited. What's the time frame now? Hey, Travis, I'm still aiming for before Christmas. I have all the parts except pickups. I have about 3 to 4 more weeks worth of work. So you should have your instrument pretty soon. Hooray! Do you know how the process works once the base gets to the US? Do I have to pay when it arrives? Before? At pickup? What all is needed for the base, paint, etc. Once the base arrives to the USA, you will get contacted by your local UPS. I will send all the paperwork needed, but sometimes they ask for something extra. If I remember correctly, only your tax if might be missing. At that point, you can arrange the way you want to pay. You can pay before delivery or at delivery. Okay, from what I know from my other customers, it ends up being around 10% of the total price. Okay. It is not complicated procedure. I haven't had any problems so far. It might take a day or two to sort out if your local UPS is a bit slower. But other than that, we shouldn't have any problems. And when it comes to the build itself, today I got a message from Delano. Pickups are ready for shipping. That was my only concern, since they sometimes take a bit more time when they have a lot of orders. But now I am completely sure that we will have everything on time. That's good. Hopefully I'm not the first, LOL. Awesome. So as far as construction finish goes, there aren't really that many more updates or pictures for you to send me then. Next step is making the fretboard and gluing everything together, and that should happen by the end of the week. After that, I have 2 to 3 days to finish, sand it, and prepare it for the paint and lacquer. I will send you some photos when I sand it. Yay! Hello! Do you maybe have some photos of the inlays you'd like? The last fret are so close to each other that the Trinity knot is extremely small. Also, for the 12th fret, we can go for 1 big or 2 small knots. Could you switch to cross past the 12th fret? Picture. Either of these, or if that's too complex for the space and infinity symbol, we can do that. Which do you like better? Actually, I think the infinity symbol would fit the motif better, maybe with the pointed ends like the Trinity knot. That could work. And for the 12th fret, what about the 3 interlocked circles without the center circle? Something like this? Yes. The knots all pointing up, and that one as you show the point infinity symbols for the rest. Could you use this part twice to make the infinity symbol? Sure. Awesome. This will look so great. Just to make sure, this is upside down, or is it okay? The circles. I may just sell all my others and have only this base. I would like the circles how you sent it. 1 circle on top, 2 on the bottom. The knots, I would like 1 point up and 2 points on the bottom. Just curious what it would cost if I wanted another made later. And the opposite coloration, the black and say green. Around 200 euros less. Photo options. The middle of the 3. Okay, so about 1900 US dollars. Would it be any cheaper if it was added to this order, or would that not matter? Shipping would be a bit cheaper. Okay, I'll probably hold off a bit then. I am sure we will find a solution if you decide to go for a second. How does this look? Amazing. Please put the knot on the 1st fret as well. Sure. Great. It is so much work to... Is it too much work to scale the inlays to fill the space more rather than them all being the same size? It is not? Like this? Perfect. Okay, great. Tomorrow I will try to mill, so let's hope it turns out as I imagined. This is the first time I will cut inlays with my laser, but it should be okay. Talk to you tomorrow. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Look forward to it. Took me a bit longer than I thought it will, so I didn't finish it today, but it turned out great. I think so, yes. I started sanding it, and tomorrow I will glue the fretboard. I realize that I'm missing some of the nuts for the truss rods, but I sorted that out today. Truss is ready, so I can finally glue it. Awesome. If it will not be an inconvenience for you, please send a picture of it after it's glued. Cool. Of course. Thank you, sir. Have a fantastic day. Thank you, and you too. Multiple pictures. Next is a lot of sanding. Awesome. I'm sure that's the most fun part. Any thoughts towards a second base? Inlays will be the most challenging part, but it's all doable. Give me a few more days to finally go over everything, and then we can work it out. Wonderful. I appreciate your patience. Smile. Sorry to bother you, but do we think that the white base will be here by Christmas? Also, when do you think you'll know the possibility, maybe a Lord of the Rings base and its price? I think I will have it lacquered by the end of the week, so I'll probably have it finished by the end of the next week. Awesome. Sorry to keep bothering you, just wondering if there was an update on the first base and if you figured out, as I'm anxious to get you paid, if on getting the other one started. I'm going to the North American Music Makers Conference, which now I know is the National Association of Music Merchants or whatever it is, NAMM, conference in California in January, and I would love to take them to show off. Hey, I installed frets today and finished sanding your base. Awesome. So tomorrow I will start lacquering. It will take 3 to 4 days, and after that it needs 2 to 3 days to assemble, so we're right on schedule. Okie dokie. Sounds good. Pictures. I'm thinking of repainting it. Maybe it would be cool to color the pores black before going to the white so that they stay gray. Now the yellow from the ash natural color is pushing through, and I am stuck on the fretboard, not sure what I can do. I painted it white, but inlays didn't turn out good, so I cleaned it. Now it's yellow. The body looks awesome in the pictures. I don't think it needs anything else. I agree on the fretboard. As close to color matching the body as possible would be great. Okay, I will give it a try. Wonderful, thanks. If the issues delay the shipment to where it won't be here by Christmas, that's okay. Hopefully it isn't delayed as far as it might take to get the second one done. Hey, it shouldn't take too long. I might add a few extra days to the build, but we are actually pretty close. Picture. Amazing. I'm glad you liked it. It's going to look extra sharp when those black strings are installed. It sure will. Did you ever figure out whether the Lord of the Rings one would be easier than the other? I figured out the Lord of the Rings one should be easier as long as we can get the black speech lasering figured out. Surprise, surprise, I'm going to try and get a second Lignum. Yeah, I did learn some things on this build. Inlays as complicated as this need to be made differently. Let me try to explain it. I need to cut both inlay and surrounding wood on the laser, and then both install into the fretboard. What's the typical speed of the international shipping? Usually shipping takes around 5 days, not more. Oh, that's fast. Yeah, the only option is shipping by air, so it goes fast. If it were to send by sea, it would take 3 weeks, and who knows what condition it would arrive in. Gotcha. I'm sure you're busy with the holidays, so I figure we won't know about the second one till after the new year. Last few days are a bit crazy for me. I'm trying to squeeze in as much work as possible this year. I had some unexpected work I had to tend to, so I was out of the workshop for 3 to 4 days over the last 2 weeks. So everything is getting pushed forward just a bit. That's the problem of working alone. But I will get to it as soon as possible, and I will be working every day except Christmas and New Year. So I will do my best to have news for you as soon as possible. Please don't rush on my account. I can wait. If the white one is not here by Christmas, I understand. It was a difficult build. Hey, today I started assembling your base, but I still have 1 day of work with it. Today I spent more than 3 hours figuring out how to wire the rotary switch. I just couldn't find schematics that would translate it from switch to rotary, but I think I managed it. Tomorrow, when I put the strings on the instrument, we will find out if it works. That being said, unfortunately, I will not be able to send it before Christmas, but it should be ready for shipping right after it, so you should have it this year. I understand. Thank you for all your work. So to ship it in the tome and case before you send it, also, how long does it take for the videos to be made? Merry Christmas to you and your family. I will give it a look and we can go from there. Your white base is finished and tested. I will take a few photos and film finishing shots for the video, and in a few days, I will arrange shipping. Awesome. Happy New Year. Hey, Thank you. I wish you all the best to you and your family in the new year, and let's finally bring this collaboration to an end. My UPS agent is on vacation till the end of the week, and on Monday there is a holiday here in Croatia. So I was planning to send your base out Tuesday or Wednesday. Hopefully that works for you. Over the weekend I will take some photos and record something simple for YouTube video, so I can send you both. And if you would like, you can also record something and we can put it into the video. That's completely fine. I appreciate that. I'll see what I can come up with for a video. Sounds great. And it will be a couple weeks before we look at the second base, correct? I can look into it this weekend. I'm starting a few new projects this week, so it would be a good time to start yours also. Okay, if you have any questions or recommendations, please reach out. We have been having extreme winter weather here, so if there is an option, please have the base kept at the local depot for pickup and not even attempted to delivery for my home. I arranged pickup for Thursday, but I can cancel it without any problem. Hope you and your family are all fine, don't have any major issues. I just meant the delivery end. We are just starting to be able to get out of the house. You said 5 days, so we should be good by then. Okay, then it will be on its way. Wonderful. I really appreciate it, and I am very excited. Also, how did the video and pics go? Whole bunch of pictures. Beautiful. I couldn't find any black background, so this was the best I could do. That works. So that was the design process. It was quite interesting. I can't say that the process took longer or shorter than I really expected. The design time definitely took a bit longer than what I would have guessed. Kind of figured that it would just be like, I don't know what, like a child's drawing from me saying, hey, make a base this shape. And then they'd be like, okay, here's what it would look like if a child didn't draw it. And then I'd be like, okay, sounds good, looks cool, here's money. And then they would do stuff. I didn't expect anyone's custom design process to be so in depth. I mean, okay, how about this tuner setup? Well, what do you think of this one? How about this color scheme? Are you entertaining this idea? What do you think of this type of pickup? We can wire it this way and place it here. There was a lot of back and forth that I really didn't expect, but I very much appreciate because of the fact that it made everything on the base awesome. The review for the Lignum, I'm going to have it for several weeks so I can go through everything on it, play it a bunch, and make sure that it's not just the brand new shiny glamour of a custom base that I helped design, giving direction on how I would rate it. So I want to make sure I have equal time to find any flaws that I might not notice while it's still brand new to me. But that review will be coming. I just wanted to put this out there so that if anyone was willing to sit through however long this whole thing was and wouldn't have a surprise if they go to order a custom base, that they don't think like I did, that it's going to be, hey, get all of the stuff and say, hey, here's what I want, and that they're going to work on it. The total time frame to me was actually pretty dang quick. Like starting July 23rd and then finally having the base just after the new year. My expectation was that it was going to take at least 3 to 4 months to get a builder to have time to start it, and then I figured it'd be a couple more months before they could build it, and then I never would have expected that the shipping would be like 5 days. I thought it'd be, a couple weeks. So all in all, I can say it fell within the realm of expectation for me. Again, I'm just putting this video together so if anyone else is interested in building their own base or designing one even more so, that you have this little bit to look at to be like, okay, it's not a fast, quick process. It's not like you're ordering something that someone already has in stock and they've just got to box it and send it. So that being how it is, there you go. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And I hope you have a wonderful day.